If you were wondering what Broncos team was going to show up, well, we found out right away. They brought the energy, a dominating 28-13 win over the Los Angeles Chargers, and now the Broncos are right in the mix. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Postgame Show. Welcome into the Pat Bowlen Fieldhouse. Here in studio, I'm Phil Maloney, alongside Todd Davis. Todd, that was the good Broncos team that showed up today.
That's the Broncos team that you want to see every week. They looked great from the start. And what I liked is that they got off to a head start. Anytime we can start fast and get points on the board and be leading, our offense plays so much smoother. Our defense is so much more dominating, and it was a great game.
Yeah, that looked like the team that showed up against the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago. And, now the Broncos right in the thick of it, playing the Chiefs next week. That's going to be for first place in the division. Let's show you how the Broncos got this one done, though. Second drive of the game, Teddy Bridgewater doing it with his legs. An 11-yard score, his 11th career rushing touchdown. The Broncos up 7-0. Next drive, oh no, it's Derwin James off the blind side, hits Teddy Bridgewater. He left the game with a leg injury. What are you thinking there, Todd? Drew Lock coming in.
Yeah, that was tough with Bridgewater going out. He's everybody's favorite QB for the Denver Broncos. So we wanted Drew to come in and play well. He had a little mishap, but luckily Teddy was able to come back.
The Broncos turned to the running game, and Javonte Williams, a 9-yard score, his second career touchdown. Todd, it was 3rd and goal from the 9. They probably weren't expecting the run there.
Definitely not. You can tell by the way they had the box set up with only one linebacker in, both the tackles outside the guards. They weren't expecting a run, and that was a great play call by Shermer to go ahead and get the Broncos in for a score.
Pat Shermer back in the booth after missing the Eagles game. The defense got in the mix too. Here, Stephen Weatherly, we see you, his second sack of the season. The Broncos had a chance to add some more points before halftime. Todd, what's the one thing you can't do in this situation?
Man, you just can't turn the ball over. That's the #1 rule before the half. You can't turn the ball over.
Drew Lock's second pick of the season, and it's James again right there. What a defender he is. The ensuing drive, the Chargers get on the board. Austin Eckler from Colorado. Todd, this is a tough play for a linebacker, Kenny Young, here on this one.
Absolutely. So they're playing man-to-man with the whole player in the middle. So he's thinking he has help to the inside. So then his #1 rule is that he can't get beat to his outside. So that's why he flows so hard over the top. And he was thinking that Browning was going to come and be, his help and his support on the inside, but it didn't end up working out that way.
Austin Eckler scored a bunch of touchdowns last week, just one here today. 14-7 at the half. Fourth quarter, the Chargers threatening. Todd, it didn't feel like just a 7-point game, but here the Chargers could have got back into it, but it's Pat Surtain, a bad throw here from Justin Herbert, and then good things happen after turnovers. After a 3rd down conversion, it's Williams again, and it gave him a little something there, a 42-yard gain. Todd, he's so hard to bring down.
Definitely. He's becoming one of the toughest backs in the league after the catch or after he gets the ball in his hands. He's so physical. He has great balance. He's able to make people miss, so he's really tough to bring down in the open field.
Led the Broncos in receiving today, 3 catches for 57 yards. On 3rd and goal, who's it going to be? Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy. Nope, it's Eric Saubert, his first career touchdown. The Broncos up 21-7. Todd, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe there's some dessert left over in your fridge. Well, here's the whipped cream. It's PS2 to the house. Todd, first of all, what about the dance moves?
I think he can do a little bit better with the dance moves. I'm ready to see him, let his hair down and get loose one time. But it looks good, man. I'm glad to see him playing at such a high level. He continues to get better every game. He's becoming an elite defender out there. I don't see a lot of people making a lot of plays when they're thrown his way.
It was a New Orleans thing. It's called 6'4" Do Man. I have a lot of New Orleans ties in my family background, so I just thought I'd hit that in the end zone.
How about the ball skills there on the deflection, and then boom, you can still catch that? He made it look easy.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of concentration to get that. I know I've dropped a couple of those in my career, so for him to pick that up and take it to the house, that's big time.
28-13, the final. Let's go out to Empower Field at Mile High. Check in with our A-team, Eric Dalala and Alexis Perry.
Thanks so much, Phil. Eric, it's the first game after the bye week here for the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Vic Fangio had his team ready to face Brandon Staley's Chargers. Just how critical is this win here with such a division-heavy final stretch coming up?
I mean, it's huge for a couple of reasons, Alexis. First, I think it puts his team in a good mood. It's fun to win. Second of all, you need these division wins as the tiebreaks start to come into play. This sets up a game next week against the Chiefs for first place in the AFC West. And I think just from a mentality standpoint, these guys have to learn that they can beat good teams. They've got to see it consistently. This proves you can beat elite quarterbacks. They're going to face them again later in the season, but today shows you can play good defense. The offense can be efficient. It's all you need to know.
Yeah, what were some of the most notable adjustments you saw from week 10 here to week 12?
Well, I think they just played to their strengths, right? The pass rush was finally able to get home with 4. The secondary played really well. And then they executed what they want to do on offense, which is run the ball, timely passes. They were 3 of 3 in the red zone, 8 of 11 on third down. That's a type of efficient offense they want to play. And it didn't work all the time in the third quarter. The Chargers held the ball forever, but largely they were able to control time of possession. That's the formula for this team.
You mentioned the Broncos secondary. Pat Surtain here, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. Just how big of a game did that guy have?
Oh my gosh, the one in the end zone is probably the play of the game. The Chargers, like I mentioned, those 2 possessions, they get 0 points out of it after holding the ball for almost 15 minutes. Pat Surtain pick in the end zone, it gives the Broncos a chance to go down and score. And then on the next possession, a pick 6 really seals it. That's kind of what we expected from Pat Surtain. And I know Micah Parsons is probably the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but Pat's not ready to give up on that just yet, it seems like.
Yeah, like I mentioned, possibly the next Champ Bailey here for this Broncos team. And I don't feel like that's a bold statement, really. Finally, last but not least, Teddy Bridgewater. We saw him go out in the first half. He came back in the second. What does that show you about the heart that he has and what this team means to him?
Oh my gosh, there's so much toughness, so much buy-in. And that was questioned a little bit after the Philadelphia game when he didn't make that tackle. He owned up to it, but if this doesn't show you how tough he is, nothing will. And he played well in the first half. That scramble there on an 11-yard touchdown run showed you his mobility. But then later in the game, when he's playing on one leg, basically, he scrambles out again, throws it to Eric Sauber for the touchdown. That was a big play. And the Broncos needed it because when Drew Lock came in, he threw an interception. He also fumbled the football that the Broncos recovered. He was not playing great. They needed Teddy Bridgewater to come back. And the fact that he came back in, led him to a touchdown drive, it says so much about him.
This was a huge test this week. It's another big test next week at Arrowhead facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Phil, let's send it back over to you.
Thank you very much, guys. Back here in studio with Todd Davis. Todd, it was scary there when Teddy Bridgewater went out. Not sure what Drew Lock was going to be able to do. Had the interception, and then Teddy gutted it out in the second half.
Yeah, he's a big-time player. He played like a true vet today. You knew he was hurting. You knew he was in pain. But he didn't let it faze him. He didn't let the world know. He just continued to fight. He knew his team needed him, and he came up big for him today.
Yeah, just 11 of 18, 129 yards and a touchdown on the ground there, and then a throwing touchdown too. So what do you think? I mean, it would have been maybe a different second half if Locke had to play.
Yeah, they need Teddy Bridgewater out there. Even if he doesn't have outstanding stats, his presence is enough for that offense to move and play well. So him being on the field by any means is necessary.
Offense got a lot of support from the ground game, though. 147 yards rushing. Melvin Gordon had it going. Javonte Williams had it going, and they were facing a Chargers team that, despite the last 2 weeks improving in run defense, came in ranked dead last in that category.
Yeah, when you look at the offense with the stacked wide receiving core that we have, you think that we should be throwing the ball 50 times a game. But I actually feel the opposite. I think the offense runs best when the running game is chugging along. When they are able to make big plays and really extend drives on the ground, that's when you take your play action passes, and that's when you take your shots to really get Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick open downfield.
Yeah, the Broncos a lot of success when they are able to run the football. Let's hear from Teddy Bridgewater, though, and how he's doing after the game.
When you win, it doesn't really matter what you're going through. You feel good. And, I feel good right now. So we'll see how I feel when I wake up in the morning. I'm just really, psyching myself out, just reassuring to myself that, hey, man, you can get out there, you can do this. And, I just wanted to be out there for the guys. We work so hard throughout the week. We get so little opportunities. So it's just an opportunity for me to just try to finish this game and help us come away with a win.
So that's Teddy Bridgewater at the podium post-game there. Todd, let's talk about the other side of the ball. This defense facing the 8th best offense in the league, averaging 26 points a game in the Chargers. Justin Herbert, how did they shut him down?
Well, they did it simply by running zone. They did a lot of zone defense today. They were able to rush four, and our front four was tearing their offensive line up the entire game. When you can rush four and drop seven, there's really nowhere for the quarterback to throw the ball, and that's why you saw Herbert try to use his legs to extend plays or have people get open because nobody was open. There was too many people in the zones.
He was able to scramble for a few plays here and there, but you mentioned the front four there. No Shelby Harris, but Bradley Chubb came back, Jonathan Cooper out there, Malik Reed, Stephen Weatherly, all these guys, Mike Purcell. I mean, how are they able to get after him?
They're just playing well. They had some one-on-one opportunities today, and they took advantage of them. They weren't letting one person block them. There were times where I saw Draymond Jones couldn't be blocked by two people. They were just playing outstanding football.
Yeah, Draymond Jones, don't forget about him. And then they got the turnovers there with Surtain.
For sure. Those turnovers are big. I know that Justin Simmons had his chance to get a couple of them as well. They were just playing outstanding defense. There really wasn't anywhere for Justin Herbert to throw the ball, and when he did, and it got intercepted.
He looked very frustrated out there. And in Power Field at Mile High, a bit of a house of horrors for the Chargers. The Broncos have now won 7 of the last 8 meetings here in Denver. Let's go out to that house of horrors and check in with Sidney Jones.
Outside the Broncos locker room here with Pat Surtain. Pat, you had an incredible game. I mean, 2 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, one of those being your first pick six. How good did it feel to know that you were such a contribution to this win today?
It felt good going out there making plays for the team, especially in a big-time division game like this where players are needed. And, kudos goes out to the whole defense. I feel like we put pressure on him the whole game. And, he just felt pressure. He was forcing throws, which allowed us to make plays like that. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think after your first interception, you were able to find your dad in the stands and give him that ball?
Yep, I found him. I know the exact spot they was, and I knew if I was going to get a pick in that end zone, my second pick, I was going to give it to them. So it was a special moment.
Well, the defense as a whole certainly made Justin Herbert look uncomfortable out there today. What do you think were some of the notable adjustments that you guys made from week 10 before the bye to now?
The main thing was putting pressure on him with the rush, secondary, and coverage as a whole unit. I just think that the game plan going into was, showing different disguises, showing different looks, giving him multiple coverages, make him feel a little rattled back there. So I think that was the game plan for sure.
With the AFC West so tight right now and, this being a huge division win, how important is it to, look ahead to Sunday Night Football and look ahead to the Chiefs and prepare for them?
Like you said, another big-time division game, bragging rights ahead. So, we just got going with the same momentum going into this game with the same confidence. Another great offense that we're about to face. So, in primetime football, so it should be an exciting matchup.
Appreciate your time, Pat. Congrats on the big win.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back here at studio with Todd Davis. Todd, injuries are a part of the game, but the Broncos have really had their fair share. And the next man up oftentimes is a rookie. The Broncos rookies have been really playing well this year.
They have been playing outstanding. I really want to shout out Baron Browning. He's came in and made a tremendous jump since his first game. And his ability to cover Austin Eckler in the open field and make tackles on him, I've done it. It's not easy, so hats off to him. He's playing really well. Kalen Stearns came in and played well for Kareem Jackson. And then Javonte Williams, everybody's favorite running back, continues to play well and make big plays.
Yeah, and then, of course, we mentioned Surtain earlier. You mentioned Browning there. He hasn't been able to play. He's been battling injuries earlier in the season, missed a good chunk of the offseason. What's the hardest part about a rookie being stepped right into the middle of the field there?
It's the hardest part for me is being able to command the defense, but then also knowing your job and executing against high-level players like an Austin Eckler. It's easy to say on paper you have to cover him man-to-man, but going out there and doing it is a whole nother story. So he's playing really well.
Yeah, and then, of course, right in the middle, too, Miners. He's out there playing for an injured Graham Glasgow. So the Broncos draft class really playing major minutes here for the Broncos, and they continue to figure out ways to win. Let's go out to the stadium one more time, check in with Matt Boyer.
Outside the Broncos locker room with running back Javonte Williams. Javonte, a touchdown today, 147 yards rushing for the team. You were a big reason for that. Talk to me about that number, 147. How much does that mean to you guys as an offense?
Yeah, I feel like once we get the run game going, everything else goes smoothly. So, like Coach Fangio said at the beginning of the week, if we run the ball, we should be pretty good. And I feel like that's what we did today.
You were also the leading receiver on the team today. How much does that mean to you, that being a big part of your game, being able to contribute to this offense?
Yeah, any way I can help the team win. I feel like that's why they drafted me, because I can catch and like run the ball, block everything. So yeah, just any way I can help the team win, I'm willing to do it.
Can't leave without mentioning the quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater showed tremendous resilience, had a contusion, played through it. Talk to me about the toughness of this guy. I mean, he really showed a lot of heart today.
Yeah, that's crazy. That just shows you how much toughness he got and how much he believes in his team. When you go to your third string left tackle and you already battling injury, like that's really just a testament to how brave he is and just how much he believes in his team and believe what we can do this season. So, I mean, all the praise to him.
Last question, a big one against the Chiefs now. How do you flip that mentality? A Sunday night football game, the nation will be watching. How do you guys get ready, flip the switch here for KC?
Yeah, that's all the guys been talking about in the locker room. They were saying last year they let this game slip, so I know they'll be fired up for that. Prime time, Sunday night football. Last time it was prime time, we didn't do so good, so we just got to get our face back.
Congrats on a great win.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Todd. This victory here sets up a big game next Sunday, primetime Sunday night football. Broncos and Chiefs in Arrowhead, and the winner is first in the division.
This is a humongous game for the Denver Broncos. If you look at the course of the season, they haven't been able to string together 2 dominating wins back-to-back. So this will be a good tell to see who the Broncos will be the rest of the season. And it's against the Chiefs, who we haven't beat since 2015. So it'll be a good game.
What do you think that is, the Broncos and Chiefs? The Broncos just not able to really get anything done against them. Is it psychological at this point? I mean, how do they get over that?
You just have to beat them. That's the only way to get over something like that. I remember a time when the Broncos couldn't lose in the AFC West. We would run through every team that we faced, and now it's a little bit different. So you just simply have to go out there and do it. That's the best way to get over a hump like that.
I think Peyton Manning was around for those, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
I think
he was somewhere in the building.
So a huge game coming up next Sunday. It's hard to imagine all the ups and downs this season, though, Todd, for the Broncos. Next week, if they win, they're first in the division.
They really control their destiny from this moment on. If they can put together a good win this week, the sky's the limit for them.
A lot of division games coming up, but none bigger than the one next week. Todd, should we get PS2 in touch with you? I mean, you got the style, you got the dance moves. Let's connect them with you, huh?
Yeah, I can give them some moves. I can help them out a little bit.
Thank you, Todd. The Broncos get a big victory, 28-13 over the Los Angeles Chargers. That's going to do it for us. For Todd Davis, I'm Phil Milani. This has been the Broncos Postgame Show.